Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. So I am currently still on Ngala, otherwise known as Fraser Island. And in this video, I'm so excited to say that we are going to be tackling the infamous Ngkala Rocks. And that's going to take us right up to Sandy Cape and then over to the west side of Fraser Island. And we all know west is best, so I know it's going to be worth a challenge to get over there. Now, as far as tackling Ngala Rocks, you can only do this at low tide, which actually isn't until 1 p.m. today. When I woke up this morning, it was actually raining, so I thought that would work in my favor and compact the sand a little bit, but it is now so spicy, so I reckon the sand is just going to be super chalky when we get there, but I'm still super confident. I'm going to give it a red hot crack anyway, and worst case scenario, I've got all of the recovery gear in the car, so I'm not too worried about getting stuck. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people to help out, but from here, I'm going to head into Orchid Beach. I'm actually going to refuel. There's about 5 fuel stations on the island, which it's a little bit more expensive, but I don't have the ability to carry fuel at the moment, so I'm just going to top up, make sure I've got plenty before I head over. And then, yeah, we're going to head over to Ngala Rocks. I want to see a few people actually attempt it before I do. Just want to see how it all goes. I don't know why I'm shocked that there's a lineup. There is so many people, but I just spoke to a girl and she's going to go through as well. So yeah, the girls, we have freaking got this, but I don't know, it gives me faith that there's actually a few people going through, although that could also mean they could be busy on the other side as well. So double-edged sword. So the line seems to have cleared ever so slightly, partly because people are turning around, but either way, I have popped my tyres down to 15. I was previous on 18, but just with the amount of people getting bogged, I reckon it's better to play it safe. To give you an idea of what we're tackling today, Ngala Rocks is the only overpass around these huge rock formations and sand dunes that make up this portion of the beach. This is the only way to gain access to the Sandy Cape, and outside of having a boat, it would be extremely rare to see a tide so low that you could even consider going around, although I have no doubt that people have definitely tried in the past, but I would not recommend. The track itself can be extremely unpredictable. From the moment you tackle the first section, you are faced with a narrow, rocky, and often muddy track, and then once you get through this, you are then faced with this extremely soft and boggy stretch of sand dunes, which pretty much is on an incline the entire way. This section of Fraser Island is both a spectator sport and a four-wheel driver's dream. It certainly makes for a fun adventure, but this is not to be taken lightly. A high clearance four-wheel drive is always recommended. You should only travel on 2 hours either side of high tide, and you actually cannot pass through Ngala Rocks from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. each day as well. So definitely come prepared with all of the recovery gear, because you might have to recover your own vehicle or maybe even help out with someone else's. Guys, we are 100% committed. We are going through Ngala Rocks right now.
Show these plugs up, come on.
Pretty much, that's the plan.
Get it done. Try to like you stole it. Get into her.
As expected, my VT is killing it. This is so much fun. Oh my god. That was so easy and that was so much fun, and I have zero idea where to go now. Thank That was so much fun. I'm going to be hyped up about that all day. I can already tell. I am so freaking glad that I bought a BT. Guys, BTs, that's where it's at. Or maybe it's just my driving skills. We can also go with that as well. So we still have like an hour until peak low tide. So we have got so much time to be able to get up to the Sandy Cape. But yeah, I'm not really sure what the plan is. Like now that I'm here, I will just be stopping wherever I feel like and camping wherever and just sort of taking it all in. I'm so excited. So we officially made it up to Sandy Cape, and the first thing I noticed was how freaking blue the waters are. I am so excited to spend the next couple of days over here, but one thing I also noticed was that right now we're at a low tide and there is not really a lot of driving space, which is why I decided to pull in for camp instead. I'm going to see what high tide looks like just to see how it sort of changes, and that way I'll know how much driving capacity I have tomorrow as well and where I can check out. But yeah, overall I'm excited just to sit here, chill, maybe do a little bit of fishing and just sort of relax for today. So funny story, and honestly I could edit this entire mistake out, but I'm like, you know what? This is my life, I'm sharing it, and if someone else learns from my mistake, even better. But my dumbass genuinely thought that you could drive from Sandy Cape to the west side of Fraser, which I feel like is quite logical. But turns out that from the Sandy Cape Lighthouse, it is pretty much like a no drive zone. So it makes a lot of sense. The reason I actually looked it up was because of the lack of like driving space there was at low tide. And I was like, I wonder if I can even make it down in time. And that's how I came across it. So yeah, fun fact, it changes our plans a little bit tomorrow, not by a lot, but it just means we will backtrack to Ngala Rocks, we'll cross back through, and then there is an inland bypass track that you take to get over to the west side. So that is our plan tomorrow. I haven't actually seen a dingo since we passed Ngala Rocks, but as soon as I pulled out the bait, one came out of nowhere, so I feel like they know what's up. But we are going to give fishing a go. God help me, if I do not catch a fish at Sandy Cape, like, we've got issues. Look at that, literally 2 seconds in the water. Since I'm not really catching anything other than like little baby fish, which I'm not even mad about, I'm still stoked that I caught a fish and I got through Ngala Rocks. Like, this is a win. Anyway, I am going to cook chicken wraps instead. Good morning, guys. So my first priority of today is to have at least 10 coffees because I did not sleep much at all last night. The storms that rolled through here were terrifying, to say the least. So it went on from like 9:30 p.m. until like maybe 2 a.m. So just thunderstorms, lightning, rain, and then the wind. That was a little bit scary. But right now we're at high tide, so we are not going anywhere anytime soon. Well, I caught one fish at least, but I keep getting stuck on these damn tree trunks in the water. So from here, it's literally just a waiting game until we can actually drive out. We're bang on 11:30, and I reckon there's just enough clearance to be able to get up to the lighthouse and then hopefully backtrack all the way down to Ngala Rocks. The goal is to smash this out as quick as possible because we effectively have a 4-hour window where we need to pretty much pass back through Ngala Rocks, then we need to pass through Indian Head. I believe both of those locations have to be done at low tide, and then we're heading actually back down to the Pinnacles, which is where the inland track is, so we can head over to the west side. So lots to smash out, so we are going to be racing up this hill. This is literally the hill that keeps on hilling. It is never ending. So we smashed that out in like 14 minutes. So I'm going to start making my way back down, and then we're going to go across the beach over to Ngala Rocks. So I've made it all the way back to Ngala Rocks, and I've had a guy just pull up beside me, and he's actually running up to see if we can actually get through. Just because of the backlog that was here yesterday coming through, you wouldn't want to send it up and then have another car coming back the other way. So fingers crossed we can just get through super easy and we don't have to wait for ages. It was just as easy coming back through, although it's a little bit sad to see another BT bogged, but that's all right. We are doing incredible for timing to get over to the west coast, so we're going to keep gunning it down, and then I think I'll check in with you guys when we get there. I'm not even kidding, 3.5 hours it just took us. So it is 3:30 now, and we left around, I'm going to say like between 11:30 and 12. So yeah, it's definitely a mission, but so worth it. So we're officially on the west side. It is blowing an absolute gale, and I actually have reception here, and turns out that there is another storm coming over. Love that. But let me show you this campsite. It is absolutely stunning. You literally have like beach views on one side and then you've got creek views on the other side. So this is Kungle Creek Camping Zone. This wind is absolutely not a vibe at all. I'm thinking I might cook dinner a little bit earlier just in case there are storms going to be rolling through. I want to be in that rooftop tent before that happens. But for dinner, I realized my bread was moldy this morning and I ate all my wraps. So I'm going to attempt to cook some wraps on the fry pan, which it should be pretty easy. Outside of the wind, we'll see how that goes, but I'm on the fence at the moment about going and getting induction. What do you guys think? Like, I feel like it's going to be an easy sell. Like, moments like this, cooking on a flame is near impossible, but we'll make it work. So we've got our chicken cooking and our dough has been resting for 30 minutes, so she is ready to roll out. Now to roll this out, I am going to use a wine bottle. Don't worry, I cleaned it and it's just my food, so it'll be fine. That looks so freaking good. I reckon this is almost better than like store-bought wraps. Now, if you haven't been over to the west side of Fraser Island, I highly recommend it, even if it is just for the sunsets. There are very few places in Queensland that you can actually see the sunset over the water, and this is definitely one of them. Good morning. I can confirm there were no storms last night, which was incredible because it meant that I slept like an absolute baby. So that was great. As far as today goes, I don't like our chances of having a super clear day. I think it's just supposed to be rain and cloudy, but typically the West Coast, from what I've seen, is, yeah, really white sand, really blue, clear, calm water. I don't know if we're going to get the calm part, but we're still going to do a little bit of exploring today. We'll head up sort of a little bit further north and yeah, no real plan. We're just gonna check it all out and then see where we end up tonight. Looks like we're cooped up in the rooftop tent for the next hour because there is a huge storm rolling through. So fingers crossed it's not like this all day, otherwise it's gonna make it very hard for us to get out and explore everything. So I've got a little bit of a break in the weather, so I'm going to take this opportunity to actually have some breakfast, and we are having pancakes. But as far as the rest of the day, I am a little bit hesitant because I believe there are storms forecast literally today and tomorrow, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to show you guys the absolute best of the west side of Fraser, but I just know that it would be way more incredible if the weather was actually playing nice. So I think I'm going to start making my way back over to the East Coast and then go home from there. But if you guys haven't already considered coming to Fraser, it is incredible. Like, I couldn't really give you too much feedback on the west side, but from what I've seen and what I've heard, it is amazing. But yeah, all in all, best trip. But on my way back through the inland track, I'm going to take you guys to Lake Olin to show you guys the turtles. But outside of that, I will see you guys all in the next video. But as always, thank you so much for following along.